Okay, guys, this is the segment of the video where we are going to be talking about herbs that help with your period cramps. This is going to be so fun because, like I told you all before, I do not like taking pills.
I agree. I think a lot of us can relate. We don't want to be on a bunch of medicine while we're experiencing our menstrual cycles. There's so many different herbs that can help us aid with it. There's cinnamon, there's fennel, and there's chamomile. So we're going to go over those three today. I do have cinnamon sticks on me today if you want to smell it. Cinnamon sticks are some of the best things you can have in your spice jar or your spice cupboard at home. You can make a simmer pot with it. You can make a tea with it. If anyone's ever made a hot toddy before.
Oh,
yes. I always put a cinnamon stick in my hot toddy, but you can also use this during your cycle because this is going to help with anti-inflammatory. So it's going to reduce the inflammation you experience during your cycle. You know, like we're expanding. Our womb is expanding because it wants to get all of that uterine lining out. It's doing a lot of shedding, and in order to shed, it has to expand because it has to get all of that tissue out, unfortunately. Exactly. So what I like to do is I like to take one of the cinnamon sticks, I'll put it in a pot with some cloves, and I just make a clove and cinnamon tea. Cinnamon tea alone can be very, very pungent as far as like to the palate. It's something that can kind of numb you if you take too much of it. So I would recommend a cinnamon stick as opposed to ground cinnamon because it really is something that can kind of numb out your tongue and give you like that I don't know what I'm saying type of thing. So the cinnamon stick is the way that I would go. It's a really great addition to your cupboard, and like I said, it's something that you can just make over the counter. Clove and cinnamon tea, super easy, super straightforward. Drink it in the morning if you want to reduce like your period cramps or any type of bloating you may experience. I know some of us get bloated during our cycle, so this is going to help reduce all of that inflammation, and it's going to make it a lot more smooth.
Okay.
Yeah.
I do have a question because I feel like maybe some of my watchers have the same, or somebody who's viewing has the same question.
Yeah.
So you said cinnamon and clover tea, right? Do you put the cinnamon and clover in a tea bag, or do you have like a general tea that you drink and then you add the herbs to that tea?
Yeah, that's a good question. Actually, I just like to make a pot, so I don't do like a big pot of it because I don't like to drink it like all throughout the day. But I'll do like a small little pot on the stove, water, some clove buds, and then a cinnamon stick. I only need one. Again, it depends how it's strong. The cinnamon stick goes a long way. Like one really does go a long way. So if you want to add it to something else, you totally can. It's not, I'm not opposed to it. Like for instance, chamomile. We're also talking about chamomile. That's something that also aids into a healthy, more manageable menstrual cycle. So if you want to add cinnamon to your chamomile tea, which a lot of us typically drink anyway, it's a nice tea to drink before bed. It makes you a little drowsy. It kind of softens your uterine wall and stuff like that. It's also anti-inflammatory. So if you want to combine your cinnamon with your chamomile tea, that's something you could totally do. If you're not clove, because clove is a very acquired taste. It's pungent, but it's not pungent. It's just not like, I think people who enjoy very earthy or very like deep flavors will appreciate it. But if you're someone that kind of needs a distraction from your drink and from the flavors that you're intaking, just add some chamomile and cinnamon together.
So when I went to St. Thomas, I went to like a tea shop and I got a lot of good herbal teas. And one thing I've noticed, a lot of people like to use honey, right? I have recently got into like raw agave as my sweetener. You feel like agave is really good like for the people, right? Because I can drink tea just straight up, but there are a lot of people who cannot drink it just with nothing, with no sweetener. So what would you suggest as a sweetener?
So for me, I'm not an agave person personally, but I can either do, because I do like plain tea, and that's just because I like to reduce my sugar intake. Honey does have a lot of sugar, even if it is natural honey, but I do like honey, or I'll do brown sugar. It's not a huge difference, but I like brown sugar. I like honey. I'm not against agave. It's just not something that's like at the top of my list. I know it is a little bit better for you, but yeah, if you're looking looking to have something where you know you can't just take that rawness of a tea, a very bland tea, add some honey. Don't do the white sugar though. Avoid the white sugar. You know, it's especially on your cycle. Sugar does increase blood flow in your body as far as like, keep in mind, we're already flowing. So
we're trying to keep the fluids in our bodies.
Correct.
Right? We're trying to put the fluids in. Sugar would definitely take
it. Alcohol intake during your menstrual cycle is also going to contribute to a heavier cycle. It's going to contribute to a more painful cycle because alcohol is a blood thinner. So it's something where it's going to cause you to flow heavier, a lot more frequently, and a lot of us want to kind of reduce or shorten our cycles. And you also want not to be as candid as I have to be a little bit candid, but you want it to be thick. You don't want it to be so thin because it's supposed to be cleansing. It's not supposed to just be wiping out your system. So be mindful of your alcohol intake. Be mindful of your caffeine intake. Chamomile is not a super high caffeinated tea, nor is cinnamon. So reduce your caffeine, reduce your coffee, reduce the acid. Remember, coffee is an acidic drink. And reduce your alcohol intake during your menstrual cycle. These are things that are going to contribute to a more painful cycle, a more heavy cycle. So just a thought, just some advice. That's all.
Thank you all for watching this part of the series. Make sure you all stay tuned for our next segment where we will be talking about curbing your appetite for our fitness girlies and for our gym guys.
There you go.